afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my vlog. I'm Christine, and this is my second vlog that I've done. And today I am sporting my University of Maryland gear because my team is currently on the bubble for making it into the NCAA tournament, and we play University of Virginia today, so I'm kind of pumped that hopefully they'll win. Unfortunately, it's at Virginia, which is not great for them, but they have a chance. And then, of course, the tournament starts on Wednesday, so hopefully they will do well in the ACC tournament and make it into the Final Four games. I'm just hoping, but we'll see what happens. But as promised, I'm going to be talking about Ideal Protein this week. So one of the things I did was I pulled out all of my products and even some products that we use with Ideal Protein, so you can kind of get an idea of the diet that I was talking about last week when I said that my husband and I have been using this program. I wanted to kind of give you guys an overview of what the program's about. Now, I am currently on phase 1. My husband is also on phase 1, but he is very close to his goal weight, so he's going to be starting phase 2. So once we find out more about phase 2, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about that. But there's actually 4 phases to the Ideal Protein program. If you've ever been in Atkins or anything like that, those programs are very similar because it is a low carb program. So we do low carb diet for the sake of burning fat. Basically, it puts your body into ketosis, and ketosis burns fat. It does not burn muscle. It burns what you want to get rid of, which is the fat. So that's why we ended up going on this diet, was because we wanted to burn fat and get rid of the fat on our bodies. And so that's why we went into this diet, as opposed to, I mean, I've done Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, all of them, and none of them got rid of my belly fat. This diet, I've lost 10 inches off my stomach because of belly fat coming off. So it definitely gets rid of the fat much better than any of the other diets that I've ever been on. So let me start by telling you what phase 1 basically is. First off, you start off with a very, very strict diet until you get down to about 10% of your body weight, and then you would go into phase 2. So with phase 1, you have breakfast, and breakfast consists of usually a shake. And that's pretty much what everybody does for breakfast. You can do other things. They have these little packets and these cool little shaker bottles, and you can make any kind of shake drink you want. They have like 20 different flavors that you can choose from. If you're a fruity person, like you enjoy the fruit, then you could use the shaker bottles and make fruit drinks out of them. And they're very good. I just prefer ready-made shakes. Pull them out of my fridge. I'm a daycare provider, so for me it's much easier to just pull these out of the fridge and drink one. And they have chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, banana, and mango. So they have 4 different flavors you could choose from. And they're very good, they're tasty, and they're already made. So you just shake them up, stick the straw in, and drink them up. If you're a coffee drinker, it's really cool because you can actually use the vanilla to put in your coffee as creamer. So that's another option that they give to you. And you can use Splenda too. They allow Splenda on this diet. So not a lot of it, but you can at least use Splenda to flavor your coffee too. So that's another option for you to use for breakfast. The second part of your day, every 3 hours you're supposed to eat, and you're supposed to drink a ton of water. So what I do is after I have breakfast, I usually drink probably about 16 ounces before I go into lunch. So at lunchtime, I then take a packet, and they have soups, they have puddings, they have all kinds of things you can eat for lunch. Some people just do another shake. Other people really enjoy the soups. We love the soups because you have to have 2 cups of vegetables with your lunch. So what I find to do is, like, I get the cream of chicken soup. There's also a cream broccoli soup. There's like tomato soup. There's several different flavors. I tend to do, the leek soup is another really good one, but I'll take my 2 cups of vegetables, chop them up, usually broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, things like that. I'll chop them up, put them in, and then pour the soup on top. And that's what I have as my lunch. And it's very filling. You do not get hungry during the day. In fact, one of the cool things about this diet is you don't get cravings. So you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on this diet, I'm going to starve to death. You're not. You don't get hungry. I never feel hungry during the course of the day. Between all the water I'm drinking, and they do have enough, like, you're eating pretty close to like 35 to 40 grams of, maybe even more than 40 grams of protein during the course of the day. So you're getting so much protein that your body's actually using that to burn, as opposed to burning, you know, the carbohydrates, which are usually in your body. It does take 4 days to get the sugar out of your system. So if you're starting, the first 4 days are rough. You get headaches, you get all those symptoms that happen when you start cutting out caffeine or start cutting out anything out of your diet. Your body's addicted to it. And sugar is an addiction. So if you are addicted to sugar, it's going to take 4 days to get it out of your system, and it's going to be a rough 4 days. For me, it's like I have cravings, everything. Those first 4 days are insane because my cells are craving the sugar that they're so used to. And after those first 4 days, then boom, you're like on target. And it takes about 2 full weeks for your body to go into full ketosis. So even though you're starting in your 4 days, your sugar's out of your system, you're still not quite in full ketosis until about 2 weeks into the program. Now, for after lunch, you can do at 3 o'clock, usually 3, 4 o'clock-ish, most people are getting hungry for a snack. So their snacks are actually really good. Now, these are the only thing that they have in the diet that are restricted. So I pulled out some of the snacks so you could see what they look like. These are like cheese puff things that they have. I like to mash them up and put them into meatloaf for dinner, but you could also just sit and eat them as they are. They're really tasty. They actually taste like cheese puffs. So, you know, I mean, let's face it, it's astronaut food. So it's not going to be like, you know, a gourmet meal or anything, but it will definitely keep you tided over. And it craves, if you crave like salty and sweet, they have things for that. So this is their little cheese puffs. This is their chocolate chip cookie, which is actually pretty good. You stick it in the microwave for 25 seconds and it's like eating a hot cookie right out of the oven. So it's pretty good, and it melts the little chocolate chips in there. These are my favorite. These are the they're wafer squares. Right now they only have strawberry. I keep trying to convince them they need to come out with chocolate because chocolate's like 10 times better. But yeah, they haven't gotten there yet. But they do have chocolate on the bottom, so you do get a little kick in there for your chocolate munchies. But these are pretty good. And like I said, all these are restricted. And then these are the bars. This is the cookies and cream bar, but they have many, many different flavors. This is actually a box of the peanut butter bars, but they have several different flavors you can choose from. They have carbs in them. These have 14 carbs in them. However, it has like 3 grams of fiber, up to 5 grams of fiber in some of them. So they are giving you more fiber, and they do have protein in them as well. So you're getting like a high fiber, high protein, and it has sugar alcohol in them, which you'll probably hear about if you've done Atkins. But the sugar alcohols are what kind of they put in there instead of sugar. So it's sort of like your body doesn't really recognize it as sugar. But you can't eat a lot of it, because if you eat more than one of these a day, you're not going to lose weight. So you have to restrict them to 1 per day. Then for dinner, which is like the best meal of the day, you get 6 to 8 ounces of protein and 2 cups of vegetables. My husband and I make lots of stir fries. We stir fry all kinds of stuff. Chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, pretty much anything that we can put into a skillet and stir fry it up. We'll do it with like peppers and onions and all kinds of stuff. Technically, you're not supposed to cook onions, but you know what? At this point in life, I'm like, who cares about a couple cooked onions? It's not really going to be putting that much carb back into my diet. So those are some things that we do in order to help us get through, you know, the day. Now, sometimes people get pretty hungry in the evening. I know I'm an evening snacker. So one of the things they recommended to us was a hard-boiled egg, or you know, a little bit of protein at night. So if you hold off like 2 ounces of your protein, you can have an egg or something in the evening that'll kind of kick you over until the next day. The other thing that they have is you need a lot of salt. So they sell this real salt, and it is really good. Like, I've had other types of salt, and it, believe it or not, does not flavor quite as well as this. We're also allowed to have soy sauce. So we use soy sauce in a lot of our meals and stuff to kind of flavor our food, because there's not a lot of things that you can use. Walden Farms makes all carb-free food, so you can get different flavorings. Like, they have salad dressings, they have ketchup, they have mayonnaise, they have like chocolate syrup and pancakes. I don't know why you would eat pancake sauce if you can't eat pancakes, but they do have like fake pancakes for Ideal Protein, the little packets. They do have some fake pancakes, but I personally am not a huge fan of that stuff for breakfast, so I tend to just have a shake. It's much easier. But other people like the cereals and the pancakes and the oatmeals and stuff, and if you're into that, they do offer those things for you, so you can have those as well. But you do have to take a lot of vitamins, because unfortunately on this diet you can get constipated. So they have like CalMag and things like that. This one we have to take 4 pills a day, and they're not little. Lord have mercy, they are not little. These are like taking horse pills. They are huge. So you have to take 4 of them a day in order to stay on top of you know, making sure that your body is doing what it needs to do in order to get rid of all the fat and stuff. So, and then this one is a breakfast one. It's potassium and calcium. So you are getting a lot of calcium, even though we do not do dairy. There's no dairy. That's what separates this diet from Atkins. There's low fat in your meats. You're not supposed to buy any of those. I mean, we're not wrapping shrimp and bacon, and you can't do any of that stuff. Basically, you're eating the leanest meats that you can find, the lowest fat, like 97% fat free or more, you know, meats. And you're definitely going to be using no dairy. So you're not going to have milk. You're not going to have cheese. That's not on the diet. Occasionally we'll throw cheese in once in a while for us, just because we crave cheese. So we'll throw in a cheese stick here or there as like an extra, but we're not really supposed to do that, but we'll do it. And we don't gain weight because we're doing it. We're just adding fat to our diet, which we don't really need. So that's why they cut out the dairy and the meat. And actually, because I'm dealing with the cancer right now, I personally have been trying to cut back on some of the dairy, simply because the hormones in the dairy are things that the doctor recommended cutting out as one of the things that can kind of perpetuate the cancer. So you know, I don't need any extra hormones. Now, one of the cool things that we are allowed to have is these extra little drinks. A lot of people cannot drink 64 to 70 ounces of water a day without a little bit of help. So you can have tea, you can have coffee, but one of the things that we found is my husband loves these Crystal Light Appletinis, but you can get Crystal Light any flavor. You can use Crystal Light. I don't recommend using it all the time because it does have saccharin in it, aspartame in it, but you have to be kind of careful. You don't want to drink like 64 ounces of aspartame every day. They recommend you only do 2 of your, so basically 16 ounces in Crystal Light or in the 4C. Now the 4C Light has Splenda in it, which I prefer Splenda to any other sweetener. And I know a lot of people say bad things about Splenda too, but I personally like the Splenda. So we kind of mix these two up a little bit with the 4Cs. The 4Cs have these really cute little packets to it, and I think Crystal Light has them as well, which you could just buy a water bottle, stick one of these in there, shake it up, and you're good to go. But these shaker bottles are the best for making like drinks and stuff. We put everything in here. I even do my baby milk in here for my daycare kids. And they're awesome. So I definitely recommend getting more than one of these. I have about 7 in our thing right now. And between my husband and I both using them, and then we use them for our daycare kids. We are using these things all the time. Now I will tell you the average price usually per week is about $80 if you choose to do the diet. If you look at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to put the website down for you to look up where the locations are for Ideal Protein, but I highly recommend it. If you want to lose weight, especially if you've been diagnosed with cancer, this is like by far the first step you should take before jumping into like gastric bypass or something crazy like that. I mean, surgery is so extreme. So before you go into something as extreme as surgery, think about doing a diet like this and giving it a shot for 10 weeks. That's what they recommend to us. They say do 10 weeks, see what happens. So go to the first night, see the orientation. Most places do orientations once a week. And you can go to the orientation, find out all about it. Believe me, I put that poor man through the rigmarole. I was like, dude, am I gonna get like problems with my gallbladder because of this? What happens when I go off the diet? Am I gonna gain all this weight back really quickly? And you know, he's like, no, that's why we phase you off the diet. So they answered a lot of my questions, and I was the worst person to have walk in there because I've been on like 10 different diets. I know how negative dieting can be. So I was really adamant about finding everything there was to find out before going on this diet. You average between 3 to 6 pounds a week. Most people are all over the place with their weight loss, and they do take your inches, so it's very personalized. You walk in, you meet one-on-one with the person, they sit down, they take your weight, but then they also do all your inches too, so you kind of see yourself whittling away, which is a really cool thing to have happen. I mean, like I said, I saw my waist drop 10 inches. That was unbelievable. But like, I've lost weight in my arms, in my butt, I mean, everywhere. And you know, at the end of this, I'm going to actually put a picture of my husband, because he's gone from he's lost now almost 100 pounds. He's only 11 pounds away from his goal weight. And they actually do this really cool thing where you hold on to a, like, I don't know what they call it, but you hang on to it and it tells you how much body fat you have left in your body percentage wise. And so my husband's down to like 25.2, and his lowest needs to be 24.9. So he's really, really close to being at you know, his actual body weight. So it's really amazing to see that he's come from, you know, where he started to where he is now. And the same thing, you know, I look at pictures of me and I'm like, man, it's unbelievable to see how much weight loss we've had. I mean, I'm at about 66 pounds now. Of course, guys always lose weight faster than us women, unfortunately, but that's just life. You know, we don't lose weight quite as quickly, but it's okay. You know, I don't mind being that far behind because now he's going to be ending and I get to catch up to him. So that part works out fine. This week, I didn't have a great weight loss. I lost 2.2, which is not wonderful, but I'm down to like 97.8, which is really good. You know, I'm back 297.8, which is not where I want to be. I really wanted to be like under 290, but that's okay. This week, my goal is to get under 290 because I'm so tired of seeing that 9 in the gut. And believe it or not, I've been bouncing back and forth between in the 290s and in the 301, 302 range. So it's been driving me crazy. So my goal is to get under 290 this week. But I'll tell you what, it's a great diet. If you have questions, feel free to post them and I can get you information on any of them. But right now we're on phase 1. Once we get to phase 2, I'll kind of share with that, but I think you start adding carbs in and things like that. Like they teach you how to basically get back into real life. And that's the important part because maintenance is just as important as the weight loss. You can get the weight off, but if you jump right back in, we have 2 friends that are on the diet too, and we've seen them put weight back on. And I know when I went on vacation, boom, I put 10 pounds on like that because I didn't phase properly. Like there's actually, if you're going to go on vacation, they will teach you how to like phase your diet off so that you can eat sort of what you want while you're on vacation, but you don't get any weight gain from it. Like I had a girlfriend, she went on a trip to freaking Italy or somewhere and she didn't gain any weight. It was unbelievable. She was gone for like 14 days. I was like, how in the heck did you come back and not gain? She's like, I didn't gain any weight. I stayed the same. I was like, that's unbelievable. So it's possible to do it. You just have to know how to phase properly. And unfortunately, I never asked them to how to phase off and then phase back on. But now that I know that, the next vacation we go on, we will probably be working with the phases and trying to figure out how to phase off and phase back on so that we don't gain any weight. So that's pretty much it for this week. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to send them in and I will try and, you know, answer them for you. But you know, it's a great program and it's definitely worth your time and a look-see and go to the free meeting. I mean, I won't lie to you. It's $80 a week. It's not cheap. And it's usually about $250 to start it up because they give you your first 2 weeks of food plus your startup fee. So a lot of places can be as high as $300 a week. We usually get $100 knocked off if you go to if you sign up opening night. The night that you go to your class, they automatically knock off $100. That's a lot of money. I think it's worth it to me to take $100 off, but you know, not every place does that because we do a better way in Maryland. We have 3 locations in Maryland and in the Baltimore area where they do, it's called A Better Way, but there's also a Better Way USA website as well. So I don't know if they have other locations around the country, but I know they have them in the Baltimore area. But if you're looking for Ideal Protein, you can pretty much find that anywhere in the country. They have them everywhere because back in 2009, they pretty much brought it to this country from Canada. So it's pretty much everywhere now. A lot of places have it. So it's worth a look-see, but they don't advertise. So we're their advertisement for you. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. Questions, please feel free to send them. And everybody have a great week. And hopefully next week I will be below 290. And thanks.